Hey, I'm back, and maybe you just watched one of my other videos, but this is a new one, and this topic is actually a question that I get all the time, which is how often should I shop my insurance, and what are the pros and cons of doing it too often or too long? So with this, I want to take a minute or two and just quickly explain to you what I recommend for my clients and why I recommend it, and hopefully it shares and makes you understand the best way to do it for you. And every business is a little unique and a little different, so there's variables to this. But generally speaking, you don't want to shop your insurance out every year. You do, however, want to do it at least every 3 years. And there's a couple reasons why. First of all, I mentioned in my previous video, insurance carriers are a for-profit business. They want long-term customers, probably just like you want long-term customers. And if they see that you're the type of customer that shops your insurance out every year, by the way, they can track all that. They get a submission from an agent, and whether it's one agent or 10 different agents all sending out for quotes on behalf of your business, every single time an application comes into one of these insurance carriers, they log it in their system and they have a track record, and they know that they've seen this account every single year for the last 10 years. So they clearly see that you're the type of business that is always shopping for insurance every single year. So you have to ask yourself a question. If they're a for-profit business and they want long-term customers, again, like you probably do, what incentive do they have to jump through hoops to give you a phenomenal price to win your account this year when they know there's a high probability you're going to shop it out next year? And if another carrier gives you a cheaper price, you're going to jump ship and go over there. Why are they going to take all of that risk to write your insurance for 1 year, pick up all of that liability exposure to win your business for 1 year? It's not worth it for them. They want a long-term relationship. So when you understand that motivation that they have, you can strategically figure out how to capitalize on that and how to position yourself in order to benefit from their objective, which is for long-term relationships. And what I recommend my clients to do is, as I said, you don't want to do it every year, but you definitely want to do it every 3 years. And what we want to try and do is you want to try and build a relationship with a carrier for a couple years. And as long as you're a profitable client for them and you pay your bills on time, they want to keep that relationship going. And if their annual renewal premiums are in line with what the market across all of the carriers is getting at that time, then there's no reason for an alarm to go off. There's no red flags. It's not like your carrier's asking for a 4% rate increase and every other carrier is getting a 4 to 5% rate increase. You're not accomplishing anything by moving to another carrier because they're all getting a very similar rate increase on the renewals. So what you want to do is you want to try and build a relationship with a carrier for a few years. And as long as I said, they're in line with what everybody else is doing from a market standpoint, you stay with that carrier for a few years. But then strategically, we then market it out with other carriers every 3 years. And maybe we'll make a decision in the moment as your advisor to maybe do it in year 2, or maybe you got a lot going on in the 3rd year when we have a plan to do it and you say, Jody, let's push it off to the 4th year. That's something we can adjust and evaluate in the moment. But on average, you want to shop it out about every 3 years. And the reason here is because now if I can get another carrier to give me a competitive quote, which is better than what your current carrier is willing to offer you renewal terms on, now you are in a position of negotiation. Now you can come back to your current carrier and we can say to them, we've been profitable for you. We pay our bills on time. What are you going to do to keep me for the 4th year? And an insurance company realizes it is significantly cheaper and a lower cost for them to drop their pricing on your renewal cost and keep you as a customer than it is for them to lose your account to a competitor, and then they have to go out and find a new piece of business in order to replace the lost revenue that they got by losing you as a customer. So they can easily adjust their renewal pricing lower down to keep you as a customer so you don't go to the other competitor. And worst case scenario, if the current carrier says, I'm not willing to go any lower, or that's the best I can do, and you still have another carrier on the table that has a better offer, that is significantly better, then we can move you to another carrier. As an independent agent, I represent over 75 different carriers. So my job is to place my clients with the carrier who's going to best serve their needs, both from a coverage standpoint as well as from a cost standpoint. So that puts you in a strategy position, and instead of you constantly being the business that's asking all of these carriers, give me a quote, give me a quote, give me a quote, not really analyzing anything other than price, you can now put yourself in a position of leverage and strength where you can actually get the carriers to realize that they want to keep you as a customer, they need to keep you as a customer, and they're going to willingly negotiate down on their renewal terms in order to not lose you to a competitor. That's how you win in the game of commercial insurance. So I hope this helped. I call it my 3-year strategy. Again, we can deviate from that, do it in year 2, do it in year 4. It's all on an as-needed basis. But that's what I recommend for my clients to do. And the last thing I'll say is, imagine if you were a homeowner and you wanted to renovate your kitchen, and you go out to a bunch of contractors, kitchen contractors, and you ask everybody for quotes, and 4 different contractors come and they do pictures and drawings and estimates, and they spend all this time and money, and they all give you a quote, and you don't hire them. You hire the guy down the street. Maybe it's your buddy, I don't know. And your buddy comes and he does the kitchen and everything's great. And then a year later, now you want to redo the basement. And you call all these contractors again, and they all come in and they spend the time and energy to give you quotes and pictures and designs and all this stuff. And you don't hire them, and you go back to your buddy and he does the work again. And maybe this continues for a bathroom remodel, I don't know. My point is how long do you think it's going to take for you to call those contractors and they're not even going to answer your phone call? They don't want to waste their time. They want to work on opportunities that they truly believe that they have an opportunity to win your business. Well, the same thing applies to the insurance carriers. If you send out quotes every single year to all of these carriers, I hear those conversations. I have underwriters that will tell me, we've seen this quote or we've seen this account every single year for the last 6 years from other agents. I don't want to waste my time. I'm going to close my file and I'm going to work on another account that I think I have an opportunity to win. They're not in the business of just quoting and not getting the business. They're in the business of winning accounts. So until you understand that and look at it from not just your perspective, but also from their perspective, you're playing a losing game here. Understand their motivation and how to use that to your advantage, and that's called strategy. So sorry to keep this video going. Hopefully that helped, and we'll see you on the next one.